All right, welcome back. And lesson two, we are still talking all things regulation, but now we are going to look at your child. We focused on you in lesson one. Now it's time to focus on your child. So I want you to think of their strengths and their challenges. So, for example, sometimes it's hard for parents that I work with to find a strength. Their kid may have a lot of behaviors, very limited language, really keeps to themselves and isolates, and they can't necessarily look for the strengths. Sometimes we need to think outside the box. So, does your child have intense focus? They can move that YouTube clip back and forth just to the part they want to watch in that clip? Or can they build with blocks or magnet tiles for hours upon hours? Can they focus on things that they find intense enjoyment from? That might be one way that you could take their love of YouTube and Blippi and put it into a strength for them. They are content watching things over and over, and it makes them happy. So that might be a strength. Does your child have a really caring demeanor where they might seek out hugs or deep pressure? Which really is they can connect with people through the physical aspects of what we can do. What are some strengths? You might have to dig deep here. You might have to pause me or write down a list. What are some of their strengths and challenges? Challenges will probably be a little easier because that's probably why you are on this right now, is for me to help you with those challenges. But what are they specifically? So instead of saying bad behavior, what is it, the bad behavior? Is it biting? Is it hitting? Is it ignoring? Is it being loud? Is it swearing? What is the challenge? And then even into that, break it down more. So is there a certain person that they have a really challenging time with? Is there a certain time of day that's really challenging for them? A lot of kiddos that I've worked with have a really hard time with bath time. They either love it and it's hard to get out of the bath, or they don't even want to go near it. So a strength might be that they love water. A challenge might be that they can't transition from out of the water into bed. So think about it, like really break it down as much as you can, because the more you know about an issue, the more likely you are to find solutions to issues. So that is why you are going to become a detective. You are going to observe your child without judgment. So if you think it is gross that they like to dig in the dirt and look for worms and they're just dirty, don't judge them. That makes them happy. It might make you cringe, but right now we're just observing without judgment, without wanting to change it, just observing behaviors. So what are their triggers? Is it the time of day? Is it, I said time of day later. Is it time of day? Is it a certain person? Is it a certain event? Is it the car? Transitions typically are extremely difficult for autistic children. So the more you know, the more proactive you can be. So that being said, I have three different scenarios I want you to think about. So a Coke bottle. We've all seen when you shake up a Coke bottle and it explodes. I want you to think, if you observe your child for one day and say the tag on their shirt is bothering them. That might be a couple shakes. That might bother them at first, not a lot till they explode, but that's a little bit of a shake. And then they get on the bus and they have a new seat. Might be a little more of a shake. They get to lunch and they don't have their favorite lunch. That's a little bit more of a shake. And then they come home from school and a sibling is watching a TV show and they wanted to watch a TV show and they explode. Whole bottle explodes because they've hit their threshold. They can't take anymore. It's not necessarily that they didn't get to watch TV and what they wanted at that moment. It was the buildup of the day. So when you're observing your child, and it might be difficult because they might go to school And you might have to get other people involved. Ask the teacher to report back on how their day was, if there was anything big that happened. And then if you do it on a weekend, then you can be with your child and observe. Are there little situations along the way that you could have maybe cut the tag out of their shirt in the morning, packed their lunch because we looked at the menu and realized it wasn't going to be their favorite thing for the day? So when you're really observing, a person who wasn't being observant would see, oh, they get home from school and they don't get exactly what they want, and they threw and hit their sibling and thinks that's the issue. That wasn't the only issue all day. So think of your child like that Coke bottle. If they're building up all day, what actually makes them explode might not be the true problem. So that might not even be the issue that you need to address. I hope that makes sense. The other one is the iceberg that we all know about, how we only see the tip. I cannot go into a child's body and see what they are seeing and what they are feeling. I have had students who have to be in constant motion. And it's like, they would just sit down and come to me. But I have no idea what's under the surface. All I do is see them running. But what if their body feels like they have ants crawling all over them? That would be my personal nightmare, by the way. But what is going on in them? And if they don't have the words to communicate, hey, these clothes are itching me, or even if they do it every day, I just have so much energy running through my body and I can't get it out. I might look at that and be like, they never sit still. This is so frustrating. I don't know what to do. Well, that's why when we observe and see, do they run more in the morning, or are they calm at certain times of the day? If they're calm right after a bath, maybe we can start giving them a bath twice a day in the morning so they're a little calmer throughout their day. So really, we want to think and observe, be the detective, to look for things that might be a trigger. The other one is, I know there's a big craze right now to take ice baths. So picture right now I have a bowl of freezing cold water in front of us. And I say we're all going to put our hands in the water, and whoever can make it the longest wins. Okay? We're all same person, same age. If we got same demographics, I would put my hand in and immediately rip it out. I am so sensitive to cold. I am usually a cold feeling person. So to me, I would not last at all. To other people, they might say, oh, yeah, that's fine. Let me put it right in. It's because we all have different thresholds. So something like a little tag in the back of your shirt might not be an issue to you, but that might be a really low threshold for your child. So the more you can observe and come up with different things that you think, once again, a lot of you out there, probably your children cannot communicate all these things with you. So you're doing the detective work, and it feels like a lot all the time because they change from day to day. If you're always observing, you might always be able to be more proactive. Can we solve everything? Absolutely not. But if we can observe more and really get to the root of what is going on, you will better understand your child. You will have more patience and empathy in situations, and not necessarily jump to the conclusion that, they can't share with their brother when they get home from school. That's not always the case. Sometimes it might be. For example, I had a mom when I first started practicing who came into an IEP meeting and said her son was going to have a bad day because his Pop-Tart that he ate every single morning didn't have frosting on it. Just didn't. He got a bad batch, those strawberry frosted ones, they're delicious, didn't have frosting on it. So we said, it's a change in a routine. We know changes in routines, especially unexpected ones, are very difficult for children. So we said, well, what did you do? And she said, well, I had frosting in the fridge, so I put some frosting on it. And I am ashamed to admit, but my young pre-mom, first out of grad school thought was, what? She needs to teach him that not everything can be the same and blah, 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 blah. And I thought that was crazy. Now, I think she was really smart. We do need to teach children to handle change, But if they're not ready for it, and her son was not, he had a lot of things going on. He had just started a new school. He had a lot of sensory needs that weren't ready to be met because he moved from out of state and we were just learning him. That mom decided today, I am not going to try to change his breakfast because that is one thing that I can keep consistent for him. So I am not saying that we need to cater and tailor every single thing in your child's day all the time. However, I am saying that we're going to be looking for things that we can help support them. So if it was a day where he was going to be at home all day, be with his mom, get to go to the pool, his favorite thing in the world, that might be the day that the mom says, oh, we're out of Pop Tarts. I'm so sorry. Here are some things we can eat instead. Is he going to have a behavior? Probably. And probably a meltdown because it's changing that child's routine that means so much to him and helps him feel safe. But on that day, not the day to fight that battle. So once again, we are going to observe and try to be proactive when possible. Can't do it all the time because nobody is perfect and it's not a perfect world. So we do eventually need to teach autistic children to deal in the real world because unfortunately, this is what we got right now. So until we get this great world where everybody loves everybody and everybody supports differences, we need to teach them to be part of the society we live in. But do we have to do it every single day, every step of the way, and cause them endless crisis and trauma and to not feel safe? No, because home should be a safe place. And we can control more so that way they know how to react and to feel safe and get back to baseline if we can support them and they know that they have a safe place. And you're their safe place. Whether you want to be or not, you are their safe place because you are the most important person. You are their parent or guardian, or if you're watching this and you're a grandparent, you are someone that really genuinely cares about your child or the child that you're here to help today. And so you want to really observe and find ways that you can be proactive in their environment. I will see you in the next lesson now, where we're going to talk about all the sensory things that might be going on that we don't see on the surface. Bye for now.